Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. It is April 17th. It is day 3 of the NBA playoffs, and I got some more PrizePicks plays for y'all here today. Guys, if you are not signed up for PrizePicks, use this promo code right here down below. Get yourself signed up. Get that first deposit instantly matched up to $100. And we will hop straight into a recap of yesterday. Yesterday didn't go too terribly. Gave out 8 picks, ended up being 7 picks with Giannis taking that fall and had to leave the game. So that one got rebooted, as you can see right here. So that dropped us down to 7 picks, and we went 5-2. Austin Reeves pushed his assists, but you still make some money off of that, depending on how you play it. So we went 5-2. So not terrible. Devin Booker didn't quite get us there with his assist, and Aaron Gordon didn't quite get us there with his fantasy score. But everybody else, all looked good. And so for today, we have 2 games again. We've got Brooklyn at Philly and Golden State at Sacramento. One of these two played out as a good game last time they met up. So honestly, it's probably going to go the same way again. But either way, I've got a pick from each team, my favorite pick from each team. Now, to be fair, Golden State doesn't have any Andrew Wiggins plays up yet, so I will definitely be keeping an eye out for those. That was the first one I wanted to look for. It's not on there. So, first game, we got Brooklyn at Philly. Like I said, 213 over-under, Philly by 10. Last time they just played, Brooklyn got whooped by 20. So you got to be careful on these picks because it's either going to go the same way or Brooklyn, it's going to be a little more competitive. Those are, the only 2 options, of course, but it's really hard because, it's just kind of like in football. It's hard to beat the same team twice. That is the case whenever it's like Golden State and Sacramento and it's a really close game. Yeah, it's hard to win those over and over. But when you're getting beat by 20, 25 points, it's a little harder to say, we can't beat them. We can't beat them twice. Philly can more than likely beat them twice in a row, especially if you're winning by 20 plus. So, got to be careful with these picks here. I did find one that I liked from each team, and the first one that we're going to take a look at is going to be Tobias Harris, and it's going to be his full game. All these are full games, and we're going to go over his 13.5 points right here. DK does have this juiced on the over -125, and if we take a just look at his last 5, he goes over this just the one time, which is neither here nor there for me. Like I said, playoff basketball, totally different now. As you can see, he just dropped 21 on him the other night when they played. Just dropped 21. He shot 9 of 14 from the field, and just against the Nets in general, twice this year. In November, he puts up 24 points. In January, he puts up 18 points. So he goes over it both those times. In February, he only puts up 3 points, but he shot 1 of 9 from the field, shooting 11%, which is terrible. Not really like him to do it. And like I said, just the other night, he absolutely smashed them. And for the record, since April of 2019, he has faced the Nets 19 times and goes over this number 15 of 19 times for the last just about 4 years on the dot, actually. So 15 of 19 times, loves playing against these guys, loves shining against these guys. And also, I did take a look at his back-to-back games, right? So anytime he played the same team back-to-back, because some people fall and some people rise when they've played the same team back-to-back. They either figure the other team out or they get figured out, right? So he has actually done pretty well, if not the same, on his back-to-backs. So he played Chicago in back-to-backs. He puts up 14 points and then 20. Against Miami, he puts up 2 and then 18, so a big difference there. Against Orlando, he puts up 17 and then 16, so about the same. Detroit, he puts up 12 and then 14. Orlando, again, 23 and then 25. So just about all those, except for one where he stayed about the same, he does better the second time he plays a team, the second time in a row on back-to-backs. So I'm looking for him to continue that streak here. Like I said, he absolutely smashed it. And so with these games on the favoring team, right, coming off of a blowout, we want to look for enough of a cushion here that they can do a little worse and still beat it. Like if he just barely scored 15, I wouldn't touch this. But so that's kind of the goal here on these games that could potentially blow out, that just did blow out the other day. On the favoring team, you want to find enough of a cushion that if they go a full game, it looks awesome. But if they get pulled again and they don't get a full game, they have enough of a cushion to do a little worse and still clear the line. That's kind of the strategy here that you want to look for. So he could do a little worse, right, than he did. And like I said, if the game goes like it did, a 20-point blowout, he absolutely blew this out of the water. If it is competitive, he gets more minutes and should clear this even more. So you kind of get the gist of what's going on there. That's going to be the first pick, though, Tobias Harris over 13.5. Then we go over to the other side of the ball, and I'm going to go with Cam Johnson, and I'm going to take the over on his 21.5 PRA. So same thing here, a little different. So when it's the team that could potentially get blown out, right? So if it goes the same way it did last time, he hit this and, didn't get all of his full minutes that we wanted him to get. But if it stays competitive, we see here that if it becomes a blowout, he can still hit it. If it stays competitive, obviously that's going to be better for us. We go way over this. So Cam Johnson, DK has this juice minus 125 on the over. He hits this 9 of his last 12. Against Philly twice this year, he clears this both times with 22 and 24, so just barely clears it, but both of those games were pretty ugly, and that was with only 27 and 28 minutes. So that was kind of my point that I was saying. We see that with less than 30 minutes, he can still do this, so we already know what a blowout looks like. He hits this number on blowouts. If it stays competitive, then, better for us. So he's projected for 32 minutes tonight. Obviously, that's a full game worth. We'll see. But that's going to be the second pick right there. Like Cam Johnson over his 21.5, as he's been doing to them lately. So that's going to be all for the first game. Second game we got is going to be Golden State at Sacramento. This was a hell of a game last time they played. It was so fun to watch, and I think it's going to be the exact same thing today. First side, it's a 240 over-under. I think they just went a little over 240 last time, maybe 249. Spread, Golden State is favored again by 1.5. So even though they lost by 3. It played out. Sacramento wins by 3 last time. So on Golden State's side of the ball, let's take a look. And like I said, there's no Andrew Wiggins props other than a free throw prop, which I'm not too interested in. So without him on here, let me just double check they haven't posted anything. Yeah. Okay, so without him on here, we're going to go with Draymond Green, and I like his over on 15 rebounds and assists. So again, fast-paced game, ought to have plenty of shots put up, opportunities for rebounds, and plenty of, also shots put up on his team by all their shooters, plenty of points for assists. And, man, he was dropping some beautiful, beautiful assists the other day when they played. He really had that the defense picked apart on these assists with all the cut into the basket that the Warriors do. So I like this number right here because DK does have this juice over 14.5 minus 135. This was at 15.5 a minute ago, and they just bumped it down to 15. I like it here. If it goes back up to 15.5, which it shouldn't, I probably won't touch it. But because I like the push potential. He goes over this 4 of his last 7 times. He just dropped 20 on Sacramento the other night, 20 rebounds and assists. And like I said, it's a fast-paced game. I think we should expect it to happen again. I think this is a really safe spot to play, and I like this as their third pick. So on the other side of the ball, we got Sacramento, and I think what the play I really like here, I was digging through a lot of these. I'm probably going to play De'Aaron Fox's under first half points again if it stays at 13.5, just for the record. It's been cashing for me all year except for once. But on the other side of the ball, God damn what. All right, on the other side of the ball, we're going to go Trey Lyles, and I love this 12.5 PR right here. Against the Warriors, just the other night when they played, he only played 18 minutes because keep in mind he's not a starter. But he played 18 minutes. He puts up 22 points and rebounds. On April 7th, he plays 22 minutes, puts up 23 points and rebounds. He clears this number both times he plays Golden State with just his points alone. He's not really an assist guy. He gets like 1 or 2. if any. But I love the points and rebounds here. Like I said, just with his points, he's been getting, don't remember the numbers. We can take a look at it. He gets 16 and 15 points against them, 6 and 8 rebounds, and only 1 assist each time, so I really don't care for. But 22 and 23 points and rebounds, he does really awesome against the Warriors. Fast-paced game, like always. It's always fun to take these overs, and it's safe to take the overs on the fast-paced games. So, love this spot right here. That is going to be all of them. And then, of course, like I said, if you want to entertain the De'Aaron Fox play, under 13.5 points in the first half. It cashed for me and whoever else took it the other day. Probably going to play it again just until it doesn't hit. You can say he only went over at 1 of his last 5. But, whatever you want to do with it. But that's going to be all the picks. It's going to be Tobias Harris over his 13.5 points, Cam Johnson over his 21.5 PRA, Draymond Green over his 15 rebounds and assists, and Trey Lyles over his 12 points and rebounds. My 2 favorite here, if you guys are looking for a 2 favorite, I think I'm going to go Tobias Harris for game 1 over his 13.5 points. And then I really like Trey Lyles over his 12.5 points and rebounds for game 2. That's going to be it, guys. Sub to the channel. Let's keep making this money. Hopefully we can continue a streak. Like I said, we went 5-2 yesterday. So that brings us to, I can't even remember what we were sitting at. That brings us to, 19 and 8 maybe. Anyways, sub to the channel, guys. Like I said, let's keep making this money. Let me know what you think about these picks. Drop a like. Drop something in the comment section. Let me know later, guys.